everyone, boys and girls, children of all ages. Welcome to Robert Sports Show. I'm your host, Robert. As we continue on the road to NXT TakeOver in New Orleans, we have the best gimmick matches in NXT TakeOver history. There's been 18 takeovers, 97 matches at these takeovers, a mere 15 gimmick matches. Gimmick match can be ladder match, fatal 4-way, 2 out of 3 falls, those kind of matches. So we're going to run down the 10 best. Coming in at number 10 came from War Games. We had a fatal 4-way for the women's title, vacant women's title. We had Ember Moon versus Nikki Cross versus Peyton Royce versus Kairi Sane. Ember Moon winning that fatal 4-way, I gave it 3.5 stars. Number 9 on the list was also a fatal 4-way. It comes from TakeOver Revival. For the women's title, we had Sasha Banks versus champion Charlotte Flair versus Becky Lynch versus Bayley. And Sasha Banks coming out of that fatal 4-way as new NXT Women's Champion. I gave that 4 stars. Number 8 on the list comes from Brooklyn 1. It was a ladder match for the NXT title. It was champion Finn Balor defending his title versus Kevin Owens. And still NXT champion after Brooklyn won. And a 4.5 star match was Finn Balor, the leader of the Balor Club. Number 7 comes from TakeOver Respect. It was a 30-minute Iron Women match for the NXT Women's title. Champion Bayley defended her title versus Sasha Banks. I gave it 4.5 stars. Number 6 on the list comes from Fatal 4-Way. It was a 4-way match for the NXT Championship. Neville defending his title versus Tyson Kidd versus Sami Zayn versus Tyler Breeze, and Neville retaining his title in the Fatal 4-Way. I gave it 4.5 stars. Number 5 on the list comes from TakeOver Orlando. A triple threat elimination match for the NXT Tag Team Championships. The champions, the Authors of Pain, defended the titles versus #DIY versus The Revival. AOP retaining their titles in a triple threat elimination match. I gave it 4.5. Number 4 comes out of TakeOver Toronto. Was a 2 out of 3 falls match for the NXT Tag Team Championships. DIY defending their The Revival defending their titles versus DIY. DIY in the 2 out of 3 falls becoming new NXT Tag Team Champions, 4.5 stars. And the third best gimmick match in NXT TakeOver history comes from TakeOver Chicago. It was a ladder match for the NXT Tag Team Championships. Champions AOP versus DIY. AOP retaining their titles in that ladder match. And the second best gimmick match in NXT TakeOver history came from TakeOver War Games. The War Games match, returning first time in 20 years. 3 on 3 on 3, 3 teams of 3. We had the Undisputed Era versus Sanity versus the team of AOP and Roderick Strong. And the team of the Undisputed Era, led by Adam Cole, winning War Games. I gave that 4.5. And the best gimmick match in NXT TakeOver history comes from NXT TakeOver Philadelphia. An Extreme Rules match between Aleister Black and Adam Cole. Aleister Black getting the victory in a 4 3/4 star epic match. One of the greatest matches in TakeOver history. And I did the best gimmick matches kind of on the eve of them hopefully announcing a unsanctioned match between Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano at NXT TakeOver New Orleans, which I think will be not only one of the greatest gimmick matches in NXT TakeOver history, but it may rival one of the best pure matches in NXT TakeOver history, let alone what else we get at that show. Aleister Black and Andrade Cien Almas for the NXT title. That could be one of the greatest NXT title matches. Such a great card shaping up for that. So that will wrap up NXT TakeOver best gimmick matches. Make sure you stay tuned for the NXT TakeOver Best NXT Championship matches. And then we'll be on to the road to WrestleMania. As always, thanks for watching the Robert Sports Show. And don't just have a great night. Have a spiffy night. Robert Sports Show, your YouTube leader in sports channel content.